Hi guys, I'm here to talk about our next part of our Easter story. So just to review, we talked about how Jesus rode the donkey into Jerusalem and how all the people lined the street like it was a parade, and they waved their palm branches on Palm Sunday and they sang Hosanna, Hosanna to the King. And then we talked about how Jesus took all of his friends and he showed them kindness and showed them how to serve others by washing their feet. And then they gathered all together and they had a supper together, a dinner called the Last Supper. And we take it on Sundays called communion. So he took the bread and he broke it and he told his friends, when they eat this bread, remember me and the sacrifice I have to make. And he took the juice and he passed it out and he said, when you drink this juice, remember me and my sacrifice. And that was called communion. So after they ate the Last Supper or communion, that Jesus and his friends went to the garden to pray. So let's read that story. Let's see what happens. Jesus and his followers went straight from dinner to a quiet garden. Jesus wanted to pray and ask God to make him strong for what was about to happen. He took 3 of his closest followers, Peter, James, and John, with him. Jesus asked them to wait and pray. He went a little further into the garden so that he could pray by himself. It was very late, and the 3 men were very tired. They couldn't keep their eyes open to pray. Soon they were asleep. Jesus woke them twice, but they went right back to sleep. The 3rd time Jesus woke his followers, he said, "We must go. Here comes the man who has turned against me." Just then, a big crowd carrying torches and clubs came into the garden. Judas, one of Jesus' followers, was with them. He kissed Jesus on the cheek. It was a signal to the guards to arrest Jesus. Peter pulled out his sword and cut the ear of one of the guards. Jesus told Peter to put the sword away, and he healed the guard's ear. Lots of people loved Jesus, but there were many who didn't like him. After Jesus was captured in the garden, he was taken to the house of the high priest and then to Pilate, the Roman governor of Judea. All night, the rulers asked Jesus if he was God's son. They did not believe that he was. Finally, Pilate said that he didn't think Jesus was guilty, but the people who hated Jesus kept yelling until Pilate decided that Jesus had to go to the cross. So after dinner, he took some of his friends and they went to the garden. And this isn't really a garden, but it's kind of my little garden outside of my apartment. And he went there to pray, right? And I don't know, maybe he made a little fire. Look, I got a little fire. Isn't that cool? We have a little fire. So they sat down and they prayed, and his friends went to one spot to pray, and then Jesus went a little further to pray by himself. And unfortunately, his friends kept falling asleep because they were so sleepy. But Jesus went to pray, and he said he was praying to God, his Father, and saying, I know that I have to do this special thing, that I have to do this sacrifice, and I really don't want to, but if that's what you want me to do, I'll do it. And he prayed and prayed, and then it was starting to get later and later, and he went to wake up his friends, and he saw some soldiers coming into the garden. It was kind of like the police. And they arrested Jesus, even though he hadn't done anything wrong. But there were some people that really didn't like him, and they were telling lies about him. And so they arrested Jesus, and they took him to go to a judge. And even though the judge didn't think that Jesus did anything wrong, other people did, and he had to have they sentenced him to go to the cross. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. Love you guys. Bye.